Hey everybody, Steve G here for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Yusaku Aogami or Blue number 2 Nashiji Bunka 165mm knife. So the name indicates a number of components. This is a stainless and reactive combo construction. So there's 3 layers on the knife construction. The center, you can see it peeking out right here. The center cutting edge steel down the middle, the core steel is Aogami Blue paper number 2, reactive high carbon steel. Heat treats typically around 62, maybe 63 Rockwell for that core steel. It's easy to sharpen, holds a nice edge. It will get stinking sharp if you do your part. The cladding to make this a little bit easier to care for. So again, the cutting edge steel is reactive. Cladding is stainless on here. And the cladding, we'll get a close-up, does not go over the spine. So the spine, you'll have to watch that as well because the spine has that center showing. It's kind of cool because you can see the construction, but that center is reactive, so you got to make sure you dry that spine off as well. The weight on this knife is 153 grams or 5.4 ounces. The dimensions and weights can vary a little bit from knife to knife. The handle is an octagonal one-piece oak with what's known as urushi, or a burnt finish, where they sand it down and graduate it. It's nice looking, nice warm tone to it. Looks like they've got a good seal job there where the tang goes into the handle. Now, oak's not the lightest wood in the world, so the blade's not super big, so that brings the balance point back a little bit. So there's your balance point just in front of the choil, which means on a pinch grip, that's going to be just a little handle heavy on a pinch grip. Not a lot, but a little bit of handle heavy on the weight balance on a pinch grip versus, racket grip, depending on how I like to use the knife. Dimensions on this one, got about 170 millimeters on the cutting edge from tip to the back, or 6.7 inches. Overall length, about 320 millimeters, or 12.6 inches. And then this knife's pretty stiff, but it's thin where it counts at the edge and the tip. I got about 3.2 millimeters. It's pretty thick coming out of the handle, but I got about 3.2 millimeters. And if you look close, you can see the layers right there. So there's your cladding, there's your core steel, 3-layer sandwich. So about 3.2 millimeters above the back, and then about halfway down, I got about 2.2 millimeters thick on the spine. And then not a lot of change there. You got that corner there where reverse sword tip, and then you can see the grinds. Fairly generous where it goes down towards the edge, but it's pretty thin, actually really nice and thin right there. So that's going to go through product nicely. And then the edge is thin as well. That's pretty skinny down there. It thickens up quick, so that'll be kind of a good compromise between performance, food separation, food release, although you might get just a little bit of wedging, but there's always about compromise. The height's about 44.5, so not particularly tall, but they get a lot of room here. Hopefully they're all kind of like this, but pretty much room for the neck. The neck's pretty thin, so even though it's not super tall, you got loads of clearance for the cutting board. You got a nice spot for your finger there for a pinch grip. Easy peasy. Let's see, beauty shot. So it's got a smooth finish on it. The Nashiji is known as a pear skin finish. And it's also got a little bit of what's known as a kudauchi or blacksmith finish on it, the dark color. Here's your grind right down towards the edge. Kind of a sandblasted finish there on the cladding. Fairly smooth, a little bit of texture to it, but fairly smooth. You've got embossed kanji right there on the right side. Here's your left side of the blade. You've got some embossed kanji there. It's small, but it is there. Right there. Nice grinds on this as well. They've done a little bit of corner relief at the spine, so it's not sharp, and they've done some work at the choil into the neck, so that's not sharp either, so that's good, and smooth feeling, nice fit and finish. You can tell this blade has a lot of good craftsmanship in it. The edge, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The heel really wasn't sharp in the back third of the blade, so definitely could use a little bit of sharpening out of the box, at least this particular one. Sometimes you get a little bit of a rolled edge or something, or a burr on there. So I'm just going to give it a 5 out of 10, but this thing will get super sharp if you do your part. Pretty much get as sharp as your skill level allows. Let's look at the cutting board. All right, so here is your cutting board profile. So you can see it's fairly curvy, low tip like you might expect for a Bunka style blade, but fair amount of belly to it, although it does go into a stop right back there. So it does flow, boom, into a stop. It is smooth. There's no hiccups on the profile, but it goes into a stop back here. So it'll chop really nice on that back, maybe 25-30% of the blade. Boom into the stop. Tip draws are super easy here, although I'm not going to get real high on a rock. And the tip digs in about right there. So you can rock over short stuff, green onions, stuff like that, chives, small stuff, but not over anything big. But typical of this style of blade. Again, tip draws are great, push-pull cuts, glide cuts, a little bit of low rocking, chopping towards the back. Very versatile blade. So if you want something that's nice fit and finish, it does have stainless cladding for a little bit easier maintenance, a little stiffness and heft to it, but thin at the edge, thin at the tip for performance. It's a good combination. This is the Yusaku Aogami or Blue No. 2 Nashiji Bunka 165mm from Chef Knives To Go.